you see here is the beach in Chicxulub, Yucatan. Barbara and I are hanging out with Jennifer and Darryle from the channel Two Gringos on the Gulf. These people used to live in Edmonton, Alberta, just like us, but they sold everything they had and they moved here. Hello, good morning, welcome to my channel. Barbara and I are staying in beautiful Merida. It's only about maybe 6:30 in the morning or something like that. I haven't even checked, but I'm out here recording a video because it is so comfortable outside here early in the morning, at night, you name it. It's basically around the clock. There's never really a moment where I'd have to dress up because it's too windy or it's too cold or my fingers are hurting because I'm in the cold. And you know, all this has got me thinking. The other day I was sitting down in Chicxulub with my friend Darryle, and he asked me,
do you guys ever plan on moving to Mexico?
And I told him no, that we weren't really ready for this kind of step, that it was on our mind, but however, we're gonna explore other countries. I think I felt too young for that, to settle down in a specific place, even though we are pretty much settled down in Edmonton, Alberta. Anyways, I had some second thoughts about that, and no, this doesn't mean we're gonna sell everything like they did and move to Mexico right away. But what it does mean is that I can think of a whole bunch of reasons to move here, and some of them might surprise you, and I'm going to share them with you. So let's find a place to sit down and I'll get right into that. Reason number one to move to Mexico. Obviously, it's the climate. It doesn't matter where you go in Mexico, you're gonna have a warmer climate, especially in the winter time, than you do in Edmonton, Alberta. I don't have to use my winter clothes here. Winter clothes are expensive, they wear out, and the cold weather also has an effect on your health. We don't get enough sunshine in the winter time in Edmonton, Alberta. We spend too much time indoors. That brings me to my second point. Reason number two to move to Mexico. And this may not apply to everyone in the world, but for myself, I know that I love outdoor activities. Where I live right now in Canada, outdoor activities are possible in the winter, don't get me wrong, but you have to be very well equipped for them, and there are certainly more days than not when it just doesn't make sense. You don't want to go outside when the wind chill is minus 35, or you don't want to go outside and try to drive somewhere or try to ride your bike somewhere when the roads are full of 12 inches, even worse this winter, of snow, slush, ice, you name it. All kinds of frozen precipitation that has accumulated over the course of months. Here, you might get some rain. You might get strong winds. It never gets really cold, and at the same time, when it rains a day later, it's all gone, it's all forgotten. It doesn't accumulate. Reason number three, and this is a big one. It's your health. No, it's not just because of the weather. In Canada, the healthcare system is dependent on the socialized system. The idea is great. Everybody has equal access, and it's supposed to be accessible whenever you need it. However, the reality, as many of you know, or as many as you had to find out when you actually needed the healthcare system, is very different. For Barbara, being an indigenous woman, it's even worse. Yes, she has coverage for a lot of things. People believe that in Canada, if you're indigenous, you have free dental care, you have free eyeglasses and all this. The reality is you don't get the treatment that is even anywhere near sufficient. Barbara and I went to the dentist here in Mexico. I've been doing it for years. I can't afford a dentist in Canada because as a self-employed guy, I don't have insurance. Here, I could pay for it out of my pocket, and the service is excellent. Barbara yesterday went to the ophthalmologist to get a pair of glasses. The process was simple, straightforward, without any BS, if you know what I'm talking about. You don't find that in Canada, especially not when you're on an Indian Affairs insurance plan. That would be reason number 3, and that is huge. Healthcare in Canada, in theory, it's all good. In reality, it's not. Then there's reason number 4, and believe it or not, it's actually crime. Yeah, I say that because I've been a victim in Edmonton. My truck's been stolen. I found out the hard way that Edmonton, Alberta is the vehicle theft capital of Canada. I don't know the whole facts about Mexico. I've heard all the same stuff you've heard. There are cartels here that are organized, that control the market for illicit drugs. But guess where these drugs are being consumed? They're not being consumed here. Actually, Mérida, according to some statistics, is high up in the ranks to be the safest city in all of North America. Mexico. Now, there are other places where that isn't the case, and there's crime, of course. But in Canada, we are brainwashed to think that our cities are all safe. Well, I challenge you, any major Canadian cities, go downtown at night or even during the daytime. Ride your train, your subway train, or whatever you have, or your bus in your city, and you will see that there's a huge problem. I don't think our politicians in Canada are willing to do anything about it. Yeah, it doesn't get them votes. I almost forgot it. Reason number 5, mucho cashback, baby. It's cheaper here. Especially if you're earning your money in a different country, it's much more affordable here. And today, obviously, there are a lot of people earning their money online, so it is kind of taking advantage of an economy, but it definitely works. Reason number 6 for moving to Mexico, guys, it's the food. The food's fantastic here. It's not just that there are excellent local dishes and stuff and you have to eat out all the time. It's also the quality of the produce, the quality of the meat, the eggs, all of that stuff. And I don't have proof for this, but I firmly believe that the use of chemicals and artificial hormones is probably less here than it's back home. Barbara has actually said that, she feels way better down here, and she's not sure whether it's just related to the weather or it's also the diet. But I believe that the food is more wholesome here, and it makes sense too because the growing season is so much longer. People can grow their own stuff, and a lot of the things we consume in Canada are actually from Mexico, but they have to be brought there by truck. And they don't get the chance to ripen in a natural environment, so the quality is very different. So let's move on to reason number 7. To me, it's the rich cultural life. I don't know what's going on behind me there, but I'm definitely curious about it. We have seen so many events here with dances, markets, traditional stuff. And it's all taking place outdoors. In Canada, there are very few festivals that are taking place outdoors, and even if they're very enjoyable, which they are, you always have to dress in layers, go home when your fingers start to freeze up or warm up. We always have to burn fossil fuels just in order to make it tolerable. Kind of sunny here already. and it's only something like 7 in the morning. Reason number 8, guys, believe it or not, it's the transportation system. Yes, I'm going to talk about the snow. I have a hard time getting around in the winter time. Every time you have a major snowfall, even in the city like Edmonton, there are 200 crashes. But there's more to it than that. They're actually building a Mayan train here between Merida and Cancun. Imagine that, a fast, high-speed train line. I haven't seen any attempts to build that in Canada, just a lot of talk. Here it's actually under construction. Don't have money for a train ticket or a plane ticket? Well, there are buses going all over this country. They're affordable, comfortable, they're amazing. Years ago, I remember Canada had Greyhound buses. The service level kept declining until nobody was riding them, and now they're gone. Is it so much better when everyone's getting around the country by plane or by car? Our road system in Canada is not that great. Believe me, I've been all over it. It's not any better in Mexico, except perhaps the toll routes. But you can leave the driving to someone else and it's affordable. So there you have it. There's 8 reasons for why I would move to Mexico. Probably in a heartbeat, depending what happens. And I'm not going to say that Barbara and I will just go home, sell everything, pack up and come here. But it's been on our minds, and definitely we enjoy coming here every winter, and our goal is to spend more time perhaps here, but also in other places. There are a ton of places that are similar to Mexico, perhaps even more affordable. If you can think of any, please leave me a comment. And also, please leave me a comment if you have any reason that, wow, you know, that's holding you back from moving to a country like Mexico. Let's stick with Mexico. What are the reasons for you why you would not move to Mexico, or you would never move to Mexico? Leave me a comment. And once again, I appreciate your like, I appreciate your support. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. I always try to come up with new adventures, and that's perhaps one of the reasons to stay in Canada, because there's a lot of stuff you can do. But again, as a YouTuber, and that would perhaps be reason number 9, I can film here, my battery doesn't go dead in 5 minutes, my fingers aren't freezing, I'm wearing my Crocs. I live in my Crocs here, it's just fantastic. Long story short, Barb and I feel really comfortable here in Mexico, and isn't that a reason enough to perhaps consider moving here at some point? I believe it is.